Well, hey there, Ronto. This is Double Double Radio with your ever-present host, Conrad Getz, here to give you all the news for the day in the way that I may. Starting off with some reports out of camps further east and a bit out of my usual news-gathering range, there have been sightings of apparent super-mutant tribes moving in this sort of direction from Old Schwa, and quite possibly even further away. At any rate, they've been ransacking some of the neighborhoods and setting up a few camps in that area, especially near the Corvega plants. So, a warning to anyone east of Ronto, in particular folks living in the radius around Old Schwa. You might want to armor up and carry some bigger weaponry if you try to scavenge or travel through that region. Those guys can be really strong. Perfect time to mention that these specific super mutants are nothing like their southern cousins, especially the ones out near the Mojave. There's no reports of any stealth boys being seen, so you should be able to see or hear them coming. I'd say smell them, but if they're hanging out in an old factory, then the chemicals and grease might cover up that smell a bit. In any case, keep your wits about you when traveling. Even without the threat of super mutants, I know there's the risk of some feral ghouls around that area. Nothing like having those guys sneak up on you and slashing at your face. Everyone seems to be talking around Eaton Central about a new trader that's come through recently, and who might be setting up at the Reference Library flea market. They came through selling a bunch of interesting body armors, enhanced stim packs, and even some chems that are supposed to help with going through radiation. Not sure where they might have collected such things in their travels, but I'm certainly curious about some rad-resistant chems. Of course, the more appealing thing is some enhanced stims, since you never know what can happen. Just last week, I ended up needing to be rushed to Mount University Hospital to get a bit of treatment after some rubble almost took my arm off. I'm fine, but I can't imagine how much easier it would have been, and ultimately cheaper, had I had a few extra items like that lying around to patch myself up. All that to say that anyone looking to pick up some helpful items of the healing and resisting variety should check out Edwin's Ealers, who should be setting up at the RLFM sometime in the coming days. Crazy news coming out of Dunn Square the other day regarding the TTC entrance collapse. In a weird twist of politeness, a couple members of the CPF and the Brotherhood have begun working together to try and clear the wreckage and get that entrance opened again. This time with a bit more of a stable framework. From the sounds of things, we have a bounty hunter by the name of Celestino to thank for smoothing things over. They had a few contacts on both sides of that original altercation. They were able to set them down and convince them that in order to get on the side of the people of Eaton Central and Dunn Square, working together to fix this mess might be in their best interest. This temporary ceasefire of sorts is proving to be beneficial for all sides, even if it's only lasting until the rebuilding project is finished, which should be in the next couple weeks. So a huge thanks to Celestino for that smooth talk. In science news, which is a weird thing to be saying over a broadcast like this, but bear with me, Wasteland. Recently, a scientist who requested to remain anonymous, but was former Vault-Tec, reached out to me to try and see about getting the word out to try and get some supplies gathered for an experiment he's doing. From the sounds of things, he is trying to test some new chemical that may be able to delay or even reverse the effects of ghouls turning feral. It's in the early days of trying to figure out the formula, but he's fairly certain that with the right supplies, he could start creating something that could help a lot of ghouls out there from becoming terrifying, mindless beasts. I'll be sending the list of supplies he's looking for, along with the location for a dead drop, to as many bounty boards around Ronto as possible. Honestly, I'm really hoping this can work out, because a breakthrough like this would be huge for the ghoul population. I know it wouldn't reverse the process itself, but if it can keep you for longer, then that's gotta be good, right? I almost forgot to make an announcement regarding the upcoming Stealth Challenge course, operated by the folks at UFT. The annual event encourages Wanderers and Wastelanders from all over the region to come and test their ability to sneak and navigate their way through a course riddled with traps and deadly automatons. Well, not actually deadly. They've been outfitted with more like paintball weapons, which still hurt, but that means they don't have to worry about anyone dying or being seriously injured. Winner of this year's challenge will receive a stock of Stealth Boys and a 300 cap prize, with others available for various achievements throughout the course. I really wish I knew why they kept doing these challenges and where they've been amassing some of the prizes they give out for it. I heard that one year they gave away a full power armor frame, which, yeah, it didn't have the plating, but you can find those easily enough or build some to attach to it. At any rate, the challenge will be in 2 weeks' time, held at the FT campus. Looks like that's almost it for today's broadcast, Ronto. I did want to leave with a bit of lucky news. It seems the Chrome Crypt has recently discovered a bunch of old magazines and comics in a recent scavenge. They've stocked a bunch of Grognak, Unstoppables, and Astoundingly Awesome Tales, as well as some local favorites. I personally picked up some copies of Pitiful Human Lizard, which was a very lucky find since I was missing a couple issues to have my full collection. So, if you're wanting to pick up some fun stuff, check it out while they have the stock. I'm also hoping they manage to get their hands on some of the rarer holotape games for my Pip-Boy, since I really miss playing them. I'd especially love to get my hands on Nuka-Tapper, since I was so close to getting a high score when I used to play it in the vault. Well, I better sign off for now and get some rest before heading out on a small scavenge run with Hunter. We're desperate to get some coffee for having here at the station, and he got word that there might be some at a Super Duper Mart a bit north near the Golden Mile. This has been Conrad Getz for Double Double Radio. Keep safe out there, Ronto. Double Double Radio, a Fallout story, is a Voice in the Static production, written, starring, and produced by Edward Grimgrinner Hutchinson. You can find Double Double Radio on Instagram, Facebook, and other social media sites, and there's a merch store through Etsy. Links are in the episode description. Double Double Radio is also made possible with the love and support of listeners and Wastelanders like you. If you want to help support the show on Patreon, that link will also be in the description alongside the list of monthly supporters. Thanks for listening.